thank you very much for speaking to Autocar Professional.
Thanks for joining.
Want to ask you the first question that, globally we are seeing this decline in EV sales and for a few months now. So your sense of that, and, despite that, you've still gone ahead and introduced your latest model, the Maybach, just a couple of days back. So your thoughts, and are you going to relook at your strategy regarding EVs going forward in India?
So let's understand the decline in sales, because we are correlating the adoption of EVs to the sales numbers, and which is not wrong in that sense. But there are reasons behind it, because firstly, EVs being an expensive technology, the price of EVs are more expensive than combustion engines. So you need governmental support in terms of tax rebate or incentives to really bridge this gap between EV and ICE. Whenever the government, let's take example of Europe, they have given the incentives, the cars have sold, consumers are happy with the electric vehicles. But then Europe came up with the legislation that by 2035, let's go towards zero emission mobility. They said, we won't now subsidize, let the OEMs find their way.
Right.
And there they have clearly learned that the adoption has gone slower and the acceptance, because the moment the price goes up, customers are not ready to pay the premium. As early as last 3 days back, I read about the German government coming back with incentives. Now you will again see the EV adoption going up.
Right.
So I think that's what's happening in the other parts, even US. Actually, it's a very different states have different taxes, and the moment the incentives go back and forth, the credits change. Even for large players in the US, that's what happens to their EV transformation adoption. But we have also seen other markets like China, etc., where the adoption is as high as 40-50% now. It's growing leaps and bounds.
Right.
So consumers are happy with the technology, but not ready to pay a premium. Let's come to India now. I think for a long period of time, we were always critical, and I am still saying that taxation on cars is very high, right? Because if you look at a combustion engine car, there is anything more than 4 meter, it's 28% GST, 20% is the cess, and another 15 to 20% is state government taxes. So by the time a consumer buys a combustion engine, he is paying 65% to the government. Whereas in EV, in some states it's only 5%, in other states it's around 20%, wherever the state taxes are different.
Right.
So this advantage, tax arbitrage, helps us to give EVs also at a very good price point. Let's take the example of the EQS Maybach, which we launched 3 days back. At 2.25 crores, nobody could expect a Maybach to be at that price.
Right.
But we passed on the entire tax advantage. And you see the result. Last 3 days, my sales team tells me, Santosh, you are almost sold out for the year. Of course, customers want to drive the car. They want to check it out. But there is a lot of interest on the car. And, and I think that's what happens on the EV transition. We have to be committed to it. There is no other option today. As auto industry, today we heard the minister clearly saying that 20% of the emission problem is coming from auto.
Right.
Public health is equally important.
Right.
Respiratory issues coming up. So as industry, we have to be part of the solution. And I think zero emission mobility is the only solution as of today, which is battery electric cars.
Right. So in the luxury segment, you're still confident about the penetration going deeper going forward?
See, we have said that we will allow customers to decide the pace of transition. As for us, combustion engine business still remains to be a very profitable business as such compared to EVs. It's expensive.
Yeah.
But we as responsible corporate citizens need to offer options. We need to offer more products. We need to educate the customer and then leave it to the customer to decide. Fortunately, for us, I have a gasoline, I have a clean diesel, I have hybrids, and I have EVs. So we have the full portfolio. And but if you have to go for zero, net carbon neutrality, we have to go for zero emission, then EV is the only option, and it's in our collective interest to then get this out, give more options to customers, and then wait for the customer to decide.
Right. So beyond the price, is there any other skepticism in the customer's mind that that is keeping him away?
Of course, see, it's a new technology. Till the time you don't really use it, you are not able to get into it. So there is anxiety on charging, on residual values. But once you start using it, then you get used to it, and then you are some of them even love it even better because you never visit a fuel station. Right. Only 20% of our customers ever visit a public charging. They have chargers at home or at office.
Right.
Cars have a range of more than 500-600 kilometers. We just did a world record now with Autocar. Actually, drove from Bangalore on a public road to Bombay, New Bombay, and that just proves that there is used cases. Yeah. You have to plan it. I am sure it didn't come just by normal. There was somebody must have really planned and done the drive. Yeah. But the technology is there. These are production cars made in India, right, for India. So it's possible. And I think that the younger generation, I am sure, will push more parents to get into the green number plate. Mm-hmm. I think that's what's going to differentiate. Right. And we as Mercedes-Benz will continue to offer. We are not going to stop here. Okay. More options to the market.
Okay. So last year you mentioned that in 2024 you are confident that you will see EVs breaching the 1,000 mark for Mercedes-Benz. So are you still?
Yeah, that would anyway happen. That I think will anyway happen this year. That's not a challenge. As I said, if we close to 5% of our sales are EVs, so that should not be a challenge.
And how has the year been for you so far? I mean, the H1 is close, so.
I think H1 was also, we had a great quarter. We follow Jan, December, so a great quarter one. Quarter two was muted considering elections. Quarter 3 started a bit muted considering monsoons and flooding in many parts this year. India received one of the highest monsoon. So test drives were not happening, showroom traffic, but August was great. I'm sure the next few months will be even better considering festive, wedding. Right. But also we have the long wheelbase E-Class coming up now. Our efforts are to get it out by Diwali if possible. And I think that will be great for the consumer. Teams are trying. We still are trying to see how early we can get this car. But I think that all of this adds up and we are still confident of a very strong growth this year as well.
It's going to be a strong double-digit growth for you?
Still double-digit. We are still on the double-digit mark, at least projection-wise. Let's see.
And lastly, what on the network side? I mean, are you expanding right now as well?
So, two actions on network, I would say. One is transformation of our current retail to new luxury standards, to new boutique outlets, to get a better customer experience on the digital side. A lot of focus on workshops. I think it's there is one in terms of expansion. We are going to 10 new cities with new workshops, and we will go to every city with workshop first. We have a lot of car park now in India, so we need to go with workshop. Also, all workshops will have the latest standards in terms of luxury outlets, also all the quick service facilities. So I think that's the core strategy, that we go more deeper. Also, we revamp our current, our dealers are investing a lot of money on the transformation. And I think we are very committed to this transformation to the new retail formats.
Okay.
This year, by end of this year, we will have more than 20 outlets transforming into a new avatar. Right. And we would also be inaugurating this month the new Maybach Lounge in Hyderabad.
Okay.
First ever in India.
Right. So any plans to bring that into other cities?
Surely. I think with the growth of Maybach, we are already, as I said, in the top 10 markets in the world. Our customers demand it. They need more privacy, also delivery experiences. So I think this is the first one, but not the last. We will be expanding.
Right. Sure. And you continue to see growth in the top end range of.
Yeah. I think that's something, as I told about the EQS SUV Maybach as well. In that portfolio, offering the right product, the latest product. And with Mercedes-Benz, they are assured of residual value. They are assured of service. And of course, we have still some work to do, to be honest, on service. Personally, I'm not, I would say, very happy where we are. But I think the team is clearly tasked to, ensure that we are there. I can say that when it comes to satisfaction, we are right there on top. But I don't think we are where we want to be personally as a company. And we are doing a lot on that side as well. So surely in the top end of the customers, they realize all of this. So therefore, the patronage is also higher to Mercedes-Benz brand.
Right. Santosh, thank you very much.
Thanks for joining. Thank you. Thanks.